He texts, you need to run to your neighbor's house. You're not safe.
Whoa. Hey, everyone. Here's what I need y'all to know. Here's my commitment to you. I'm on vacay right now in beautiful Deer Valley skiing here in Park City, Utah. So if you're on YouTube, that's why my background's different, because I'm taking the morning off because we need to record a sode, you know, and a bonus after this. We're recording the top tier bonus after this. Rebecca is really like,
I mean, it's going to be a long recording. I'm going to be real sick. I wonder how many fights we'll get in or arguments we'll get in that we have to cut.
No, we'll post them for sure.
I am not on vacay. Kurt Cobain's still behind me. And this is going to be a long episode. And listen, this is the short version. Okay.
Oh.
It's a batshit story and it's going to be made even longer because I'm sure you're going to have comments, Rach.
Oh shit. Okay. We'll get to it, but I have two things real quick.
Okay.
First, in the bonus episode we posted, Apple subscribers, we mentioned like maybe if you let us know you're a subscriber, because we can't see the list, we can add you to Patreon so you can see posts. We were talking about a merch idea that we wanted to post on our Patreon. It was the thing. I cannot add you. That was a lie. They do not let you add people manually, but most posts like that go out to any member, so you could just join as a free member and see posts like that. The bonus episodes obviously are only for the middle and top tier Patreons, but the pictures and just random posts like that you can see. So just go for it. Sorry, we just started getting a lot of emails of people being like, add me. I cannot, unfortunately. Sorry.
It's as if we should have looked into it before announcing it.
Oh my God, that is...
Now I'm thinking.
Now you're using your head. Second thing, and then we'll get to it. Sorry, real quick. I want to shout out our friends who just launched a startup a couple months ago. It's called Livy.
Oh my God.
It is so good. I am so impressed. Okay. It's an at-home gel manicure. The gel, it doesn't ruin your nails. It goes on like a sticker. They have really good colors. It goes on like a sticker. You kind of like press it on, you shape it, do whatever. And then they give you a little light, like to dry it, like you would have at the salon. It takes like minutes. And it lasts for like 2 weeks. Mine lasted a full 2 weeks, and I put my nails through some shit with 2 toddlers. I mean,
I've gone beyond 2 weeks, to be honest. They do recommend, I think they recommend 2 weeks. I just took mine off. Otherwise, YouTube subscribers, I would have shown you. It's like the worst day to do a shout out, but I really want to. They were just on Good Morning America, so you may have seen them. Yeah. But look, they didn't destroy my nails. My unpolished nails are still very healthy, if you can see.
And the packaging, they give you the oil, they give you everything. The light, I mean, I'm just really impressed with them. I'm very proud of them. And we wanted to shout.
No, absolutely. And it's because, going to get a manicure is the worst. And I'm not the only one, but I get antsy when I'm stuck behind someone not walking up an escalator. And realistically, that's only 10 seconds of my day. So if you don't have an hour or two to sit there and do nothing while you get a manicure, Livy is the best for that.
Yeah.
For her,
it's really good.
I'm very impressed with
it. The gal on the go. Who has time to like sit there and have their hand held for 2 hours?
Oh my God, not me. That's why I have not gotten a professional manicure literally since 2017. And I only did it then because I was in my best friend's wedding and she made me.
So, but we have been talking to them a lot. We know them. They are wonderful. They came up with this idea on like a girls trip. It's really cool. Yeah. They are going to offer y'all 33% off the starter system with code PATW. So normally it's $83, $55 for y'all. So PATW discount code. Honestly, it's so good. I did is butter carb, the colors, and it's handled. I'm going to do my next one. It's going to be dark. I want a dark one.
Yeah. Joan of Arc. Oh, wait.
Joan of Dark. It's called Joan of Dark.
Joan of Dark. I mean, yeah.
That's the dark gray one. I'm keep being drawn to the really dark purple. I can't remember the name. Marie Cure or something. It's a play on manicure, but
got it.
It's a very dark purple and I love it.
And I'm not afraid of a winter white.
Oh, I'm not either. I'm not either.
Like that.
Please.
Anyway, y'all go check them out. Use the code PATW. Today, I am telling you about Paul Lambert. Sources are State Coroner's Report of New South Wales.
Oh, wow.
Uh-huh.
They just like publish a coroner's report?
Yep. 7 News
Okay.
Spotlight out of Australia and news.com.au. Do you know where this is taking place?
So, damn it. I wanted to say something really sarcastic and witty. I'm so tired though.
Anyway, okay. Paul Lambert was born August 10th, 1980 in Queensland, Australia. In 1998, he graduated from St. James Practical School and then went to Queensland University Technical School and got his degree in business and finance. After graduating, he worked in the finance department for a motorcycle company in New South Wales. His friend said he was a he was a standby guy. He just stood by.
He just stood by that
as they went through life.
What a whelp.
Oh, well, no, he's a stand-up guy. And there was a lot of talk about his character. He was a huge sports fanatic, and he helped raise money for disabled children with famous rugby legend Wally Lewis. I don't know rugby.
I couldn't name one famous rugby player, but sure.
This guy's a legend. Wally Lewis is a legend.
Done.
He also facilitated an internet campaign to buy an assistant dog for his friend's autistic daughter.
Oh, that's nice.
Isn't that lovely? And an interesting tidbit, his colleagues and friends say he loved America. I don't mean to laugh.
Wow.
He just loved American culture. He would often vacation here. He would celebrate 4th of July, even when he was in Australia. Like, okay.
Oh my God, what? That is so interesting. Great. Thanks.
I know. I'm like, oh, no, yeah, thank you. I wonder where you visited first. Like, what made you which state made you fall in love?
Oh my God. And just tell me your favorite thing about it. They're like, look at the ingredients on their food. There's so much shit in it. Look at all these chemicals we get to eat here.
Yeah, I haven't seen one old building here. What is that?
Why are all these buildings so new? No, I love it. Thanks. Hats off to you.
Yeah.
And I'm proud to be an American where at least I know I'm free. Is that right?
That's the song you went with, huh?
I don't know. What am I going to do? The Star Spangled Banner?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Belt it.
Yeah.
He met a woman in 2008 and they got married in February 2014, but I cannot find much on her at all. But I know about their relationship. So here we go.
Okay.
It seemed to be one of those relationships that they tried to fix by getting married. Like they were having trouble pre-marriage, so probably shouldn't have tied the knot. Because by September of 2014, so less than a year of marriage, they were already struggling. And in an effort to make it work, they went to Florida, a state in Paul's favorite country, for...
If Florida is the reason he loves America so much.
I had a joke about it, but we have Florida listeners. Listen, we go to Florida. That's where we vacation if we're going to go to the beach. So no hate. Y'all just have a lot of shit happen down there. That's all. You know that.
You cannot deny that there are some batshit stories out of Florida. Sorry.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Deal with it.
And you can hate Alabama all you want. We
yeah. Go for it.
So yeah, they went to Florida for vacation and renewed their vows, but ultimately they wouldn't work out and they get divorced. He goes back to Florida. So maybe to answer my previous question, Florida is the reason he loves America, maybe.
I mean, that's it.
He goes to Florida later that year and he gets on Tinder, as you do, and he meets 32-year-old Brittany Ann Keel, who is actually a Fox News reporter. Just a tidbit. But that too would ultimately not work out.
She's currently?
No, I looked her up. She's moved on from Fox. I don't know what she's doing now. I think she lives in Miami, so I think she's a local news reporter. Something.
Oh.
In August 2016, he meets 27-year-old Angela Jay, and he was so taken with her, he actually super liked her. So for those that don't know or don't know about dating apps, on Tinder, you could get one super like a day. So it's very flattering when that happens.
Wow. You better use it wisely.
Use it wisely.
One a day?
Unless you subscribe, and then I think you get unlimited or something.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about Tinder super likes.
Oh my God. How many times did you give those away?
Mm-hmm. Please.
So you're not throwing out the super likes willy-nilly.
No, I'm
Oh my
not a
God.
hussy. I'm
What kind
I'm
of
not giving
common
my
whore are you?
yeah, I'm not giving away my super likes back in the day.
Oh my God.
So Angela grew up in California with her Australian parents and her sister Danielle. And when she was a teenager, they moved back to Australia where she finished out high school. She went to medical school over there and became an OBGYN. And when she was living in Port Macquarie, Australia. Like Paul, she had been married before. She got married in her early 20s, but they got divorced. And at 27 years old, she hopped on Tinder and found Paul. He was living in Sydney at the time, which is about 4 hours away. I think he was in Port Macquarie for work or something when they matched. I don't know. But that first date went very well. He learned Angela wanted the same things, which is a serious relationship. She wasn't on there looking for a fling. And he was actually relieved to hear that she'd been married before because, I meant she got it. She knows how bad divorce sucks. And
Yeah.
yeah. And soon enough, he was going back and forth between Sydney and Port Macquarie to see her. And before long, Angela asked him if he wanted to meet her family. And he said, of course.
Oh, wow.
Her mom, Susan, and sister Danielle fell in love with Paul immediately. Susan said he walked in with the most beautiful bouquet of flowers she had ever seen. And the day really, it couldn't have gone better. Danielle pulled Angela aside. She's like, I'm so glad you found Paul. You seem happy, knowing that she'd been, bummed about being divorced. So it's exactly what you want when meeting the girlfriend's parents. In the middle of the visit, Susan and her husband, Angela's stepdad, Bill, walked into the kitchen to do something, and Susan mentioned what a breath of fresh air Paul was. And Bill looked at her, shook his head, and said, something is wrong with him.
Oh, okay, Bill, keep going.
Oh my God, was he right?
Whoa.
Because in that very moment, Paul had 10 active restraining orders against him.
Oh, shit.
Bill said within the first 5 minutes of meeting him, something seemed off. And Susan actually gets pissed and reprimanded Bill for being so rude to make such a snap judgment before getting to know someone. And he said, no, Susan, we will be picking up the pieces. Mark my words.
Bill, go with your gut,
Bill,
bro.
where the hell were you in the first 30 years of my life?
Oh my God.
Bill needs a nap. Bill needs a nap.
Bill, just a background checker will do it. Let's do it.
In the time between March 2003 and October 2016, he had 10 restraining orders. Now, in interviews with family, I see a lot of people commenting, asking what Bill saw in him, what were the red flags, how did he know? And it's never answered. So let me get ahead of that question and say, I don't know. But if I were to guess, he probably just seemed a little too perfect, like this very good looking, overly charming guy. Comes in with a bouquet of roses, schmoozing.
He sees through the bullshit. Yeah, I can totally see it.
In my spare time, when I'm not doing charity work, I take my nephews fishing, which is apparently what he mentioned several times. You know the type.
Yeah.
When I'm not shitting gold, I'm rescuing puppies. My favorite book's the Bible. My role model, the Pope. Bill.
Did he say that?
No.
Oh,
no.
damn it.
Just all the types. He doesn't. Yeah. And Bill probably, picked up on some bullshit because Bill knows people are the worst. And we have 136 episodes to back that up. So there you go. So yes, 10 restraining orders, 2 of which were from his ex-wife and that Fox News reporter, Brittany Ann Keel.
Oh.
This is why I'm like, how have we not heard this? Just
his name sounds familiar, actually. But okay.
Well, first of all, his born given name is Paul Scales. He changed it right after the incident with Brittany Keel. So let's dig into that relationship a little bit more.
Okay.
He got on Tinder and met Brittany the very weekend him and his wife were renewing vows. He's a dog. Yeah.
Wow.
That was September 2014. He flew back to Florida to meet Brittany in person in December 2014, a few months later, obviously not telling her that he was married. And after spending the weekend together, he flew back to Australia and left his wife. And he told Brittany he was in love with her.
Jesus, calm down.
Calm down. She told him he was coming on too strong and tried to end the relationship, but he begged her to at least give it a shot and even gave her a window of 3 months. Like give it a 3-month trial period, if you will.
Chill. I'm not giving you a whole quarter. Hey, Paul, Florida doesn't even want you. Just
Right.
stay over there. Get out of
No,
here.
you will see that they do not want him. And in
Oh,
fact, America doesn't want him.
okay.
Dude gets banned.
Wow.
Guilting her by saying that he just found out he had a brain tumor, which is a lie, but it is exactly how her own father died. So that pulled at her heartstrings, which he probably knew. So that's a dick
Yeah.
move.
Right.
She agreed to give him another shot, but after 1 month of that trial period, he's so erratic and unpredictable, she couldn't do it. He is essentially following her. He's showing up at her work. He comes in town to surprise her, but in reality, he just wants to make sure she's not dating anyone else. So she threw in the towel and ended it. And again, he lies to make her feel guilty. He said that his father died and all this shit, but the lies quickly turn into threats. And he said that he would reveal some personal information she shared with him. He goes on and defames her on Fox News Facebook page. He calls her killer, all this shit.
What?
In just a matter of days, he sent her. It's probably, I didn't know what the Facebook post said, but it's probably like she's a killer of love, some crazy something. In a matter of days, he sent her 23 emails, 11 Facebook messages, and called her 12 times. And in one of those messages, he told her he had 9 different personalities and said, I have all the memories of the others, and none of the others have mine. Ugh. What?
Okay.
I don't even know what that means, but it's creepy as shit.
Yeah, hate it.
But then she gets another email explaining everything, Rach.
Oh, good.
Good, so good. He said the entire time she's actually been dating his twin. It was his twin. It was the evil twin she was dating. It wasn't him. It was him on that very first weekend together that was magical. But since then, it's been his twin.
Oh, God. Thank God that cleared up. So now they're married with 18 kids.
He's like, no, I ghosted you after that first date. Somehow my twin got your contact and he's been riding that wave ever since. Like, come on.
God, that's fascinating. I would be like, go ahead and defame me because I'm just going to show everyone this and they'll know what a lunatic you are.
Right. So he's just constantly harassing her. She's getting more and more scared by the day. So she goes to police because, mind you, she's a reporter, sometimes live. Yeah. She is terrified to go on air, not knowing if he's nearby or what, or how quickly he can find her or what.
Yeah.
So she goes to the police and they advise her to put it in writing, like send him an email, document the fact that you never want to see him again. It'll start the record. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So on May 1st, 2015, mind you, they met in December. This has only been 6 months.
Oh my God.
But May 1st, 2015, she writes him this email. Paul, please do not contact me anymore through any means. Do not call my job, my phones, email me, text me, or attempt to reach me through social media. I no longer wish to have contact with you whatsoever. I tried to be a friend because of what you're going through, but your irrational and vindictive behavior has made that impossible. She then goes on to say, I mean no disrespect, and alludes to his, quote, terminal brain cancer, which at this point she probably knows is a lie, but just to appease him, and says that she hopes he gets the medical attention he needs for it, and ended it with, our relationship is over, and I'm sorry it didn't work out. These things happen sometimes, and I know you'll find someone else. So no gray area. She does not want to see you anymore.
Someone calling someone's work is like a boundary I would not be able to get past.
No.
Even without all the other stuff, calling someone it's too much. That's like really pushing it.
Right, because now you know that has potential to ruin my life and you're willing to do that. So bye-bye.
Yeah.
He responded. He says,
good.
That's a threat to me. You think I care when I have a death sentence? You don't care about me. Why should I to you? A friend would want to catch up, talk, and have fun. She doesn't respond. And we all know that people like this love when you don't give them the attention they're kicking and screaming for. So he writes another one, this time demanding money to leave her alone.
Oh,
and she's like,
perfect.
And then that goes unanswered. And he goes again, can you reply about the money? That's it. Or am I to presume you've taken things further? If you have, then I will as well. Sort the money, then no contact.
Wow.
I know. What a dick.
No, but what a dipshit, too.
Oh, I know.
He's extorting her? Great.
Yep.
Keep on following up on that money.
I know. This
idiot.
is probably the best thing he could have done. So she doesn't reply to this either, but She can't eat. She can't sleep. She's so scared. She was afraid to leave her home. She's afraid to go to work. According to her attorney, she was getting physically sick every day. But on the
Oh,
bright side, he demanded money in writing. So now crimes have been committed. So
hell
only
yeah.
a few days later, they find him in Florida planning God knows what.
Shit.
And he was arrested for stalking and extortion. Brittany was granted a protective order, and he spent a month in immigration detention and was deported to Queensland, Australia, which is where he was living at the time.
His quickness to jump on like a 14-hour flight
Isn't
too
that
is
crazy?
very insane to me. I can't with this guy.
I know. And shortly after this incident, he legally changed his name from Paul Scales to Paul Lambert. This entire time, he was still legally married. So his soon-to-be ex-wife found
Oh my
out about all
God.
this. Yeah,
What?
Yeah.
Oh God.
he's still married.
Jesus.
So she finds out about all this and wants to sign divorce papers ASAP.
For real.
And he says, okay. And on their way to do so, they're in the car together, and he's threatening to crash the car and starts accelerating the speed. And she is begging him to slow down,
Oh God.
which he does, but it's only to punch her in the face and strangle her in the car.
Oh my God. To death?
No.
Oh God.
She somehow manages to fight back, get out of the car, and run away. I think the fight started because he wanted to reconcile, which, bitch, you left her. You had the affair and you initiated this. Shut
Yeah.
up.
Get the hell out of here.
Get out of here. So, yeah, she managed to escape, and he was charged with several things, including assault with bodily harm, and is sentenced to 9 whole months of imprisonment with immediate release to parole. So, no jail
What?
time. Oh, God. He gets away with so much. She, too, was granted a protection order, which he violated several times and had a number of driving offenses. So he was sentenced to 12 additional months of probation. And he was disqualified from driving for 2 years. Enough of the probation nonsense. He does not care that he's on probation. What are you talking
And
about?
breaking it isn't getting him really any punishment. It's just more probation. So
Right.
like just I don't know, whatever.
Right. And
Mm.
here, when you break parole, it's jail time. But
we
when-
hope. We would hope.
yeah, it's
Some people do get away with
typically, though.
shit, but typically I think that's true.
yeah, you're incarcerated, usually. But according to the court documents, breach of parole there is referred to the parole board of Queensland to determine what action should be taken. I'm like, no, jail is the only action that should be taken with this guy.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Sure.
So he doesn't care about being on parole. Case in point is this. He is on probation in Queensland, therefore he cannot leave there without permission of his parole officer. He requested his parole orders be transferred to Sydney so he could continue working there, and this was declined. I don't understand why he was deported to Queensland and put on parole there if he lived and worked in Sydney. He attacked his wife in Queensland, so maybe that's why. Maybe it doesn't really the crime up because Sydney to Queensland is like 19-hour drive.
19?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Make sure I didn't do the walking.
It's a 19-hour
drive.
walk. Okay, drive in a car.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a 384-hour walk.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, maybe they do it where the crime was committed.
Yeah.
Who knows?
But they say no. Find another job. You can't leave because you're awful and we have to watch you.
Okay, that's fine. Good. Go Australia. Get him.
I know. Get them.
Watch out, Florida. He's going to try to come for you.
Right. As we know, Florida, as we know, Paul doesn't take kindly to rejection, but he plays the part and says, like, his parole officer's a woman. He says, yes, ma'am. Not leaving. Understood. Aye, Captain.
Yeah, loud and clear.
Loud and clear. Gotcha. Can I trouble you into allowing me to go get my stuff from Sydney? And she grants this and says, you can go August 17th through the 22nd of 2016 to get your shit and come back. So he took this opportunity to move there.
Wait,
Moves to Sydney.
he wasn't being escorted?
No.
Oh my God, what are y'all
He's
doing?
not being tracked in any way. I guess they don't have ankle monitors over there.
Oh my God. He's like, I will be right back.
Yeah, he would just fly back every time they had a meeting. It's like every time he had,
Why
yeah.
does he have so much money?
I mean, he is in finance, so.
Oh, okay. Blonde hair, whatever. Finance, whatever that thing is, you know?
Oh, yeah, but no, he's dark hair, dark eyes, almost black eyes, some might say. But
Sure.
he said that he got some job at some company and he was living with his sister who happened to live in Queensland. Then back to Sydney he went. His case manager and parole officer did not bother to confirm with said employer or his sister. I really don't know how he got away with the shit he did, and I will not go into every little thing because, my God, it would take all day. But things like this, like his parole required him to take a responsible men's program, which is a course aimed at preventing domestic violence. But he requested to do the program through his own psychologist, which was granted. But no follow up was done. They didn't ask the psychologist's name or give them a call to make sure the course was being done, because had they would quickly realize there was no psychologist. He wasn't seeing anyone at the time. So I don't know. Maybe he's just that charming. I mean, he must be. But he is very aware of his demons, which you'll come to find out in the story, which is somehow, it makes it scarier and admittedly kind of sad, more sad. I don't know. So he does eventually go see his child psychologist, who recommended a psychiatrist, like someone who can properly diagnose him and give him the right medicines.
Wait. He went to a psychologist as a child?
Yeah.
Why?
And
Do we know why?
Because his parents got divorced and
he had a hard time. Okay.
Yeah, he had a hard time. And they actually said he does have some behavioral issues, probably based on that, which seems like, I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. My parents never got divorced, but I think a lot of people's parents are divorced that don't have this type of.
Right. Come on.
I don't know, but I don't know what it was like as a child, but it definitely got worse as he aged.
Sure.
So his psychologist recommended a psychiatrist who can actually, properly diagnose him, give him the right medicines. And he is ultimately diagnosed with bipolar 1 disorder and severe personality disorder with borderline and narcissistic personality traits.
Wow.
He is not interested in taking medicine, though. So he stops going to doctors altogether. His last session was May of 2016. And in August 2016 is when he jumped on Tinder to find his next victim, Angela Jay. As mentioned, she's an OBGYN. She's living in Port Macquarie while he was in Sydney. So it's, again, about 4-hour drive. And they would see each other on the weekends. And for the first 6 weeks, it was great. But shortly after meeting her family, and her stepdad makes that shockingly accurate assessment of him, which, by the way, he did not tell her. I think Angela's mom told Bill to pipe down. But after that meeting, she started feeling the weight of having Paul around, even long distance.
Angela or the mom?
Angela.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Wow. Good. You go talk to Bill, Angela.
You go talk to Bill.
He knows some shit. There's something there.
Right. Intuitive as shit. They were like 2 months in, and he was love bombing her. And she was getting very overwhelmed. She said, like, you're great, but let's pump the brakes a little bit. I'm still recovering from my divorce. I want to take things slow. And when he ignored this, she broke up with him. And he told her about his suicide ideations. So kind of emotionally blackmailing her, just like he did to Brittany. Paul's good friend Dan reached out to Angela and after she dumped him, and said that Paul jumped in front of a car, but luckily the car swerved and missed him. But she is riddled with guilt because of this. She feels a sense of duty and responsibility for his well-being. And I mean, she's a doctor, so she probably feels that way about everyone's well-being.
Yeah.
So it only adds to the pressure to stay with him, especially when he's saying shit like, you're the only one who can keep me alive.
Oh, fuck off. That's so unfair.
Don't put that on her. I know.
Oh my God, that's sad.
And because she didn't know what he was capable of, she agreed to let him come to her high school reunion in Terrigal, which was already paid for. It was pre-planned before they broke up. Plus, it was only an hour away from Sydney. So considering they've been long distance this whole time, an hour away is very close. So she just lets him come, but makes it clear, like, this doesn't necessarily mean we're back together, leaving the door open to possibility of working things out. But like, told him to be normal, have fun, like, chill, just don't make a scene.
Oh God.
That didn't happen.
Oh no.
Please. He made a scene that became so heated, her high school friends ended up calling Danielle, her sister, at 1 a.m., telling her to come pick up Angela. And when Danielle got there, she said they were just screaming at each other. Not sure why, no idea what caused this. But Angela stays with Danielle that night, and Paul shows up at her house a few times throughout the night. And when they made him leave, he leaves her over 50 threatening texts and voicemails. And that's when Danielle's like, okay, in the morning, we're going to police. It's time to start documenting that he is unhinged, and we need to record these outbursts. So the next morning, they go to the cops, who look him up, but won't give her any details about his criminal history. They said they're not able to, but they do tell her he seems to be more of a threat to himself than to her and not to worry about it.
What?
I'm like, what? But they say, if any more threats come in, call us.
He beat up his ex-wife. What do you mean?
This is what I mean. I'm like, what are you talking about? Why did you tell her not to worry and that he's not a threat? Essentially, I feel like he did what every cop tells every victim in every stalking case, like, call me if anything else happens. And then by that time it's too late type shit.
Right.
But it's such bullshit to say that he's not a threat to her. It showed right there in the national suspects and offenders system how many protective orders he had against him and why. It details the attack he had on his wife only months prior. This is October of 2016. That happened in May. That was only a few months ago.
Insane.
Surely, if you can't give details about someone's past, fine. But you could be like, if you were my daughter, I'd say,
Run,
like give it, run.
Something.
He seems violent. Something.
Yeah.
Don't tell her not to worry about it. My God. But what the system didn't show, just to clear the air here, it didn't show that he was actively on parole, and therefore they couldn't see that he was currently in violation of it. So,
okay, this is so weird.
I know. They can't see Queensland's system.
Oh, yeah, actually.
Yeah, they're
okay,
actually.
But still, okay, whatever.
So, regardless of not knowing shit, that entire episode at the reunion was it for her. She is done. She is done feeling bad. She is done humoring him. She decides she is just never going to speak to him, never going to respond to him again.
Yeah.
Oh, if only this was a podcast about successfully ghosting someone.
Oh, I know.
But it's not. And the very next day, she comes home from work to find Paul outside her house with luggage.
Oh, no, we're not doing this. No, we're not. Sorry.
He flew there from Sydney and actually told the clerk at the car rental place that he was there to surprise his girlfriend because they got in a fight and he was there to make amends. The clerk's like, I don't care.
I'm not here to, I don't give a shit. Take the keys, get out of my face.
Also, it's not in their system is that his license is suspended.
Oh my God. Wait.
Yeah, car rental places can't see that. I know. So,
but you have to give a license. They don't. What do they do with that? What?
Yeah.
Oh,
but
God.
he gets pulled over for speeding, and cops do say, "Hi, suspended license. I see in your system you shouldn't be driving." And Paul acts shocked about this. He had no idea, and he said, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'll have my doctor girlfriend come and pick me up, and then we'll return the car to the rental place." He drops girlfriend and doctor. He's just like an oversharer.
Mm-hmm.
But the cops are like, okay, great, and leaves. And the moment they're out of sight, Paul jumps back in the car and proceeds.
I have no doubt.
I mean, everything's working out for him.
Yeah.
So Angela sees him outside her house and she immediately starts shaking and tells him, please get off my property. She tells him, you're scaring me, and she does not ever want to see him again, and to please leave her alone. And this is when he tells her that his friend Dan was not real. That was him.
I figured.
I know. It was, quite obvious.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't actually jump in front of a car, but says currently he is the good Paul, but he can feel the bad Paul taking over, and he leaves.
Shit.
It's very scary. It's like really freaks me out.
Yeah.
I start sweating when I get into this. So scared as shit, she calls the police, and then the texts start rolling in. They're mostly threatening, again, creepiest shit texts. And imagine getting these from a man you're terrified of. He texts, I've stolen some of your keys. And she looks at her spare keys, and sure enough, there are some missing. It turns out he stole them while they're at the reunion. So he is not lying. Then he texts, and this is the creepiest to me, he texts, you need to run to your neighbor's house. You're not safe.
Whoa.
Which is terrifying. You have no idea if it's a trap. Like, if I run out the front door, you're going to be standing there. Like, she has no idea.
Oh, God.
And I need to describe, her house is not small. It's like, it looks like a ranch. They did an aerial view, and it looks pretty sprawling. It's big.
Yeah.
Which makes it scarier. But she rolls the dice, and she does what he says. And she runs to the neighbor's house. Her neighbor is a man named Steve, and his daughter, Amy, who answered the door. And it's not a young daughter, Amy. I'd say probably 17, 18, maybe older.
Mhm.
And Angela explains that there's a guy that she was dating who seems to want to hurt her, and she's scared, and the police are on their way, and she shows them the text and all this stuff. So they obviously let her in and wait for the police. And Steve later told a reporter that he had a feeling right then that something was going to happen to this girl.
Oh no.
Police get there and issue an emergency protection order and take her to the station to file a report. And while there, Paul calls her cell phone.
Oh my God.
This time, a cop answers and he hangs up, but called again and said he cannot trust, quote, the other Paul, and he didn't know what he was capable of. The cop informs him that a protection order has been issued and he needs to stop calling and messaging, reiterating they don't share systems with Queensland police. So they have no way of knowing he's violating parole right now. I think this has since changed as a result of this case, or at least it was proposed. It was a proposed change according to the court documents that I don't know if it actually has. During all of this, she is still taking long ass shifts at the hospital, sometimes all night, 24-hour shifts. So she is exhausted, mentally, physically drained. Ugh.
Yeah.
She's scared to tell her colleagues because it was so ashamed, which is
no.
I know. It's so sad that we first blame ourselves like that. Like, how did I let this happen? How could I be that dumb? And you're not. He's just that good. He's that good of a tricker. And there are several women who would agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
So she doesn't tell her colleagues the entire story, but enough to basically say, like, I don't plan on taking time off work. So if I don't show up one day, you may need to call the police.
Yeah, there you go.
A few days pass, maybe a week, and it's crickets. Thank God. She has no idea where Paul is, what he's doing. He could be back in Sydney for all she knows, but he's not.
Oh, God.
He is actually in a hotel room directly across the street from the hospital, posted up in a chair, sitting in the window, and he has been watching her all day, every day.
Jesus.
He is no less than 100 feet from her at all times. We know he's posted up in a chair in the window because police later searched that room 17, and saw it along with several cigarette packs, food, essentially all of his belongings around this one chair in the window.
Oh my God. It's so creepy.
He checked into it's the Rotary Lodge, and he checked in under the name Brady Jackson. And being a very bizarre interaction, I imagine, he tells the front desk person that his wife had just given birth to a premature baby. So she was staying across the street. Most of the people apparently at this hospital had loved ones in the hospital across the street or something.
I would imagine. And
then he mentioned that his wife's doctor was actually being stalked by an ex-boyfriend.
What? The hotel desk person is like, I did not ask shit. I don't.
Like, oh, scary.
Okay.
I don't
hate that.
What is that? I'm like, is this a way for you to confess, get the burden off your chest?
I mean,
chest?
it's
like,
weird.
He is a walking cry for help. It's
bizarre.
It's very bizarre. And a weird side note, he met a girl at this hotel and offered to take her somewhere and groped her in the car. She jumped out.
What?
But I'm like, what is the matter with you?
Oh my God.
Just so bystander. So bizarre. So all while Paul was hundreds of feet away from Angela, she's completely unaware. He's texting her shit like, this is my good side. The good side won't last long, especially after being rejected. So her mom
That's not the good side. The good side leaves me the fuck alone.
Right. Yeah. Stop texting. How about that?
Yeah.
So her mom takes off work. Susan takes off work for a few days and comes to stay with her. And they call her landlord and to request that they change all the locks. And until that can be done, they actually remove the door handles to the doors that she knows Paul has a key to. They lock the door, they lock all the windows, they keep the curtains drawn, essentially barricade themselves in, not knowing if and when he'll show up again. She also kept several knives in various locations so she could quickly grab one if needed.
If the doorknobs are removed, you can get in. I'm confused by that.
I know.
They must have changed them?
No. Removed
because the locksmith couldn't. Okay.
But sometimes it's like jammed if there's no door. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay.
I guess if the door handle was intact on your side of the door, Like you could lock it, but there's no way for him to unlock it.
I know.
I think.
Okay. Oh,
Right?
I see. Yeah, maybe.
You
I
know?
don't know. This isn't a podcast about the science of a door. So,
No, we're not locksmiths. We don't know.
No idea.
I've never played one.
Go ahead.
I think Susan got there on October 31st, 2016, so Halloween, but she has to leave on November 2nd to go back to work. And she said in an interview that looking back, getting on that plane was the biggest regret of her life.
Oh, no. I don't want anything bad to happen to Angela. I mean, it already is, but this is so sad.
It's scary. That day, Angela got off work and went home to pack up a few things before going to her cousin's house. That's where she was staying at night. It's 5 p.m., so it's still light outside. She decides to make it some dinner and watch TV, decompress for a second. After a while of chilling on the couch, the sun starts going down and she decides that she needs to get her stuff and leave. So she starts walking towards her bedroom, which is at the other end of the house. And as she turns the corner, Paul jumps out of the closet with a very large knife.
Stop.
He was in there for hours.
Oh my God. Is her cousin there?
No.
Oh shit.
Angela screams and he puts his hand over her mouth, looks her in the eye, and with his black eyes says he wants to talk to her. She pleads to him to let her go to the bathroom. She says she needs to pee so bad, and he allows her to do that, but makes her leave the door open and watches her, of course.
Duh.
He then forces her to sit on the bed and starts interrogating her about who she's been staying with at night and whether it's a man or not. And the reason he knows that she's been staying elsewhere is because he's been living in the bushes in her backyard for days.
Stop.
During the day, he would be at that hotel, but at night when she would leave work, he would leave work and he would sleep in her backyard.
Oh my God. This is so creepy.
So creepy. It might be my creepiest perp. Because I've just read so much about him that there are, hours of footage. He records himself talking in third person, saying
no.
He's watching her. He wants to rape her. Oh God, it is so fucking creepy. So he puts her on the bed, berating her, and she knew she had to get out of there or die trying. So she gets a burst of adrenaline and just runs for the bedroom door.
Oh my God.
He runs after her, catches her, and starts stabbing her over and over and over.
Oh.
She's screaming for help. She manages to stand up, but he grabs her again and this time raises a big can of petrol and starts pouring it on top of her. He is dumping gasoline on her.
Shit.
And it's all over her. It's in her eyes. It's in her mouth. It's in her ears. When she screams, it drains from her ears down her throat.
Oh my God.
She is about to be set on fire any minute. The only good thing about having petrol poured on you is that it makes you very slippery. And she manages to get out of his grasp and she just runs for her life for the front door. She rips it open and there is neighbor Steve standing there with a tire iron.
Shut the fuck up. I'm so glad she could grasp the doorknob. That's
I know.
Oh my gosh.
So Steve was letting his dog out at the time and heard her cries for help. She was screaming. And her driveway's long, too. I'm like, God, that must have been fucking loud.
Wait, I thought she was at her cousin's house, though.
No, she was packing up to go to her cousin's house.
Oh, gosh. Oh, I thought this whole thing was at the cousin's house.
No.
Whoa.
No, she decided to sit, cook dinner. She just came off a 24-hour shift. So she's like, let me just chill. It's daylight outside. She said she was feeling oddly calm. Oh, and Steve had his truck, and in the bed of that truck was a tire iron, and he grabbed it and ran for her door.
Go, Steve.
Oh.
What a horrifying sight.
Horrifying. And all he can smell is gas.
Oh, yeah.
So she yells that she's bleeding to death and to please help, and he rushes her. He doesn't see Paul immediately. He just rushes her to his garage, which happens to be open, and she's dripping in gasoline, and yells at Amy, his daughter, to call 000. Sorry, I get emotional when victims are like fighting for their life.
Look at you.
Even though her skin is burning, Angela stays very calm. Remember, she's a doctor. She knows freaking out could literally be the death of her. So she stays very calm and instructs Amy and Steve to get water and towels and tells them how to wrap her injuries.
Oh my God, what a badass.
I know. And they wash all the petrol off her face.
Oh,
Cops
God.
get there, bust into Angela's home, but of course he is long gone. However,
Oh my God.
I swear to God, every act is creepier than the last. They see that he took a shower. I'm not sure when, but it was documented in the crime scene that he took a shower, and in the condensation on the mirror is written, "I love Paul."
No.
Swear to God.
No. Was he going to use that as his own defense?
I
Like,
don't
see,
know.
no, she wrote that.
I don't know. I don't think so. I really don't. I think he's just
Okay.
this outside of his mind,
Okay.
or like trying to manifest it. Like, oh God,
Ew.
it's just so creepy.
He's the definition of a creep city Johnson.
The ambulance gets there and Steve gets in with her to go to the hospital.
I love Steve.
I love Steve. Then her cell phone rings.
No. Actually,
She-
great. Great.
Mhm.
Where are you?
She's in no condition to answer it, so Steve actually does. And in
Hell
the
yeah.
calmest voice ever, on the other side is a man who says, "How is she?" And Steve realizes, "Oh my God, this is you." And he says, "Holy shit, it's the bloke that did this."
Yeah, he is a bloke.
And he's,
Is that an insult?
no, it's just
It's a
guy.
mate.
Yeah,
it's a mate. I forgot. Yeah.
And he says, "How the fuck do you think she is, you fucking bastard?" And hangs up. Then Susan, Angela's mom, gets a text that says, "I tried to stop him. He's fighting his way out, and I can only hold on for so long. I am not dominant. An AVO isn't enough. Tell them to do more." An AVO is an apprehended violence order. It's what we call a restraining order in the US.
Uh-huh.
Imagine getting this from your daughter's stalker ex and being a flight away. My skin would crawl. So he's so unhinged, he's talking in third person.
Yeah.
He then calls police next and tells them to put police guards at the hospital where Angela works because he can't control Paul.
Jesus.
They ask
Thank
him,
God. I mean, honestly.
I know.
I don't.
But it's in a way, I'm like,
so
"Jeez,
scary.
So scary."
But I don't know.
And maybe it's an act. I'm not a psychiatrist, so I have no idea. But I'm like, is there like, I don't know. I don't know if it is. I wonder what Aussies think about this case. I would love to know after this. Okay. They ask him to pull over and surrender, but he hangs up. They pull in their negotiators who call him back, and he again starts talking in third person. He says this to the negotiators. He says, he was going to rape her. He was going to tie her up and was going to strangle her. He was going to pour petrol on her and set her on fire. And he's switching back between first and third person and says, "I need to take my own life because I saw evil today and I wasn't strong enough to stop him." The negotiator asked to meet Paul, but he doesn't respond to this and says that they also need to put police at Angela's mom's and sister's houses because he knows where they live.
F.
He also talks about his ex-wife and how she isn't safe either, and neither is her family.
God.
Then he asks how Angela's doing and asks to talk to her. Like, no, but thank you. But it's such an erratic conversation. The on-call negotiator refuses to help any further.
What?
Have you ever heard of this?
He's like, I can't do this.
A negotiator quit mid-negotiation. He knows Paul is driving at a high speed, and given his headspace, it's way too dangerous for himself and bystanders on the road. So in that very moment, he says, I refuse to help any further, to provide assistance any further. Essentially, this guy needs 4 padded walls before I can reason with him.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. So the call ends, but luckily they stayed on the phone long enough to track him.
Yeah.
And the pursuit is on.
Shit.
They spot him driving north on Pacific Highway around 9 p.m. and they are on him. They have all men on deck, unmarked cars, highway patrol, marked cars. But they are going dangerously fast. They chased him for 150 kilometers, what the fuck ever, which
could be either.
Which is 90 miles, around 90 miles, about 93 miles. But this entire thing lasted 30 minutes.
Oh God.
Do that math. If you're driving 90, if you got 90 miles in 30 minutes, you're in a rocket ship. You're about to take flight.
Uh-huh. You're going very fast.
Cops have had enough of this shit. That everyone on the highway is in serious danger. So the lead pursuing car really pushes his cruiser to the limit. He catches up to Paul and deploys the road spikes in front of his car.
I was about to say that. I was about to say, let's get those road spikes up in here.
They do. They throw it in front of his car and he's forced to stop.
How does he have a car that goes that fast?
That's what
he's got to be going like 180.
80. I know. Like reread the court documents to be like, that can't be right. Because I even Googled how the fastest a cop car can go and it says 160. And I'm like, wait, I don't know. He's in a white Corolla, I think. That's what he rented, at least.
Jesus.
So
go Corolla.
Go Corolla. But I don't even think, it says they started tracking him at 8 p.m. and they started pursuing him at 9 p.m. And they throw the spikes out at like 9:32. So I'm like, wait, really? This only took 30 minutes? I'm baffled by it. But yeah, they're going dangerously fast. 180 apparently.
That's what I'm saying.
I know, but I'm saying like, maybe I got that timeline wrong because I really don't think a Corolla can go that fast. Anyway, fast nonetheless. So Paul is forced to stop. He jumps from his car with the knife raised over his head, threatening to kill them all, and then starts running on the other side of the highway towards traffic.
Oh, God.
Officers Myers, Officer Buckley, and O'Donoghue start running after him, yelling at him to get off the fucking road, radioing to the other officers to close the highway immediately. Paul runs about 500 meters before he stops, turns around, faces the officers, and slowly waves the knife in the front of his body. It's fucking creepy. It is now a standoff. The other responding officers have arrived now, but proceeding with caution. And Officer Buckley is the only one who's actively trying to talk to Paul. He's yelling at him, put down the knife, and announcing they all have guns.
Yeah, a knife is not going to get out of here. We literally brought a gun to the knife fight. So pipe down.
Pipe down. But he's yelling, I don't want to do this, brother. Like the Officer Buckley is yelling at him to be like, I don't want to do this. Please just put the fucking knife down. But at this point,
it's going to be a lot less paperwork for me if I don't kill you right now.
Right.
Please help a bloke out.
Help a bloke out. At this point, they had him cornered. The entire highway is blocked by cop cars. And as more officers arrive, police say it was the first time Paul showed real aggression. And it was when he demanded that no officer move behind him. In the reports, it said, it was very clearly an issue of sensitivity that he did not like people, quote, moving behind him, which I'm like, I don't like people waving knives and forcing me to go 180 miles per hour. So fuck off.
Well, he probably just didn't want to be surrounded by cops. What do you do?
I
just
know,
in general.
They said it was a very in general. They said this really seemed like a thing
for him. Yeah. Okay.
A lot of these officers are highway patrol, again, like I said, and they don't have tasers. And the ones that do carry tasers left them in their urgency to get to the scene. So the sergeant radioed Richard Osborne, who is a trained taser officer, to get to the scene. He gets there and sees Paul there with a knife and about 5 to 10 officers facing him, guns drawn.
God.
Not knowing Paul demands of, no one behind him, he quietly approaches him from behind. And he warns them, mate, you're about to get tased.
Shit.
To which they said Paul stiffened up and you could see something in him change as he got visibly enraged. So enraged, he plunged toward Officer Osborne with the knife over his head and he deployed the taser. But for some reason, it did not work.
Why did he warn him? Oh, I wish he didn't warn him.
To give him one last chance to surrender. They said he did this so partially so he'd focus on him and not the officers, and partially so he'd give him a chance to surrender.
Sure.
But for some reason, it did not work.
No.
Paul managed to go after him, and this left police no choice but to shoot him down.
Wow.
Paul Lambert is dead after 3 shots to the back.
Shit.
Let the record show. The source I've been pulling all this from, the coroner's report, was actually the inquest into his death. But I don't want to give away the ending.
Okay.
obviously. In the hospital, Angela learned that she was stabbed 11 times. She also learned Paul was dead, which she described as a euphoric relief, as I'm sure it was to all the other victims.
Yeah.
Paul's
How terrifying, sorry,
Mhm.
how terrifying for the cops who had to shoot him to shoot in the direction of one of their own.
Uh-huh.
Like that, the situation just got so much worse. We
I
don't want to
know.
shoot you, but at least we could have safely shot you and no one else could get hurt. Now our colleague is in the line of fire. That sucks.
I know. And I don't know how that works because while there were several cops facing him, guns drawn, Buckley and Myers were the only one who shot fire. And I guess I don't know if they have like an arrangement. I don't
Yeah,
know.
they
They probably
probably
talked about it beforehand, but
figured that out.
yeah, knowing that Officer Osborne is in the crossfire, he did not get hit, thank God. Probably would have if they all shot for sure, but
Yeah.
they probably arranged that. Paul's family does not blame police for his death. Even said in a statement for the inquest that they are very familiar with the change in him where he stiffens up and gets enraged.
Oh my God.
I know. I think they agree there was no other choice but to protect one of their own. But Officer Buckley, who made the fatal shot that came from his bullet, the ballistics test showed that it came from his gun, doesn't feel that way. He said he thinks he could have gotten through to Paul and was prepared to talk all night if that's what it took. He said.
Really?
Yeah, he said the fact that he shot him haunts him.
Oh.
It's like, it's not your fault. In a matter of weeks and a remarkable recovery, Angela was back at work delivering babies and has spoken out several times about her attack. She even did a TED Talk where she comes back to the same question of what does it feel like to be murdered? And then she answers it. It's like powerful. Oh, God.
Wow.
But she said, it feels like you're attending the funeral of everyone you've ever loved at the same time. Like it's a realization that you're never going to see them again. It's like their funeral.
Oh.
It's a very good talk. I recommend everyone look it up.
What's her name? Her last name?
It's Dr. Angela Jay, Jay.
Oh, Jay. I thought you were just giving a last initial.
Oh, no.
Okay.
She also talks about the gender inequality. It starts at a young age and gives examples of like people telling little boys like toughen up, stop acting like a girl. And then she says this one that I'm like, oh yeah, that is so messed up. When we tell little girls, when boys are mean to you, it means they like you. And she's right. I'm like, that is screwed up. Let's not normalize it for a schoolgirl. We should follow it with like, so you tell them to buzz off until they start acting right. Or,
Yeah.
When boys are mean to you, it means they're mean and you should stay away.
Yeah.
Oh, it's such a lot.
You're
I was
right.
like, oh my
You're
God,
right.
you're right. We like grow up thinking that means they like you.
There's a crush.
That we should be flattered by this. Fuck off.
Yeah. No. If a boy's mean to you, little Susie, tell him to fuck off.
Right.
And keep him at arm's length until he straightens up.
Yeah. Because that guy's a lunatic.
That guy sucks.
And that is my incredibly sad, tragic, and dark story of Paul Lambert and all his surviving victims. My God.
10? He had 10?
Yeah.
Restraining orders against him?
10, man.
Jesus.
And it is like he knew his demons. There were texts to his mom. Oh God. His texts to his family, really. They're like, please don't leave me alone. I'm a psychopath. This is a text. This is actually a text. I'm a psychopath. I really am. Could you or Jacqueline call me later when boys have gone to school? I've lost my plot again, which I've come to learn that means like I'm off the rails again.
Yeah.
Please don't leave me alone. I almost hurt Angela. There's not enough strength in me. But from the inquest, they do say, a lot of people are like, oh, he was like asking for help.
Then why didn't he take the damn medication?
I know.
Sorry.
Take the medicine.
You refuse medication.
And
so if you know it.
His family was instructed by doctors not to respond to this.
Oh God, his poor mother.
From the inquest, it said there was no reply to his messages. I would like to make this very clear that Mr. Lambert had a long history of using threats of self-harm and manufactured crises to seek attention. His family had sought professional advice about this on a number of occasions and had been told to ignore these messages. Their actions were entirely appropriate and consistent with their desire to do everything possible to help Mr. Lambert.
Yikes.
Yeah. So like, oh God, it's just like a sad, dark awful,
Dark.
creepy case. So,
Yeah. Wow.
patrons. On a lighter
Wow.
note, there are people who join Patreon.
Oh, thank y'all.
Denise, Melissa, Ember, Sheila, Anne, Hillary, Robin, Brianna, Schmemily.
Uh-huh.
But I know your email's Emily, so you just wanted to go by Schmemily. But then there is another Emily, Leah, Courtney, Alexis, and Lish.
Oh, thank y'all so much.
Welcome. Thank you so much. And actually, only one custom shout out today from Mercedes. Mom, parentheses, Kelly Atkinson. This is a little shout out for you because I love you. Thank you for loving me even when I'm hard to love. Oh, you're not hard to love.
That's
You're
never the case. That's nice.
I know. And that means she listens too. So thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Mercedes.
That's awesome.
Y'all are both lovable.
Y'all are.
Y'all are the best. And remember, you get a PATW code off Livy, Livi. Mayonnaise by Livy.
There you go. There you go.
People are people are not the best. No, you are the best.
The opposite. You are, but people in general are actually the worst.
The worst. Bye.
Bye.